How the telephone was invented, the story that changed the world. Today, we can talk to someone across the world instantly, but just 150 years ago, that was impossible. Before smartphones, before mobile phones, even before the internet, there was one invention that started it all, the telephone. Join us as we explore the fascinating story behind one of the most important inventions in human history and the dramatic race to create it. Number one, the world before the telephone. To understand how revolutionary the telephone was, we need to look back at how people communicated in the 1800s. Long-distance communication relied on the telegraph, invented by Samuel Morse in the 1830s. It used Morse code, a system of dots and dashes, to send messages over wires. But telegraphs had major limits. They couldn't carry voice, only text, and required trained operators to decode the messages. Conversations? Impossible. Number two, the idea of electrical voice. As electricity became better understood, scientists began experimenting with the idea of sending real sound over wires. What if we could convert sound waves into electrical signals, send them through wires, and turn them back into sound at the other end? Enter two brilliant minds, Alexander Graham Bell and Elisha Gray. Both were racing toward the same goal, to invent a machine that could talk. Bell, a Scottish-born teacher of the deaf, was deeply interested in sound and vibration. Gray, an inventor and electrical engineer, was also working on a voice-transmitting device. Number three, the race for the patent. The competition between Bell and Gray came down to a matter of hours. On February 14, 1876, both men submitted paperwork to the U.S. Patent Office. Bell's lawyer got there just before Gray's. Although Gray's designs were similar and possibly more advanced, Bell was awarded the patent, and on March 10, 1876, in a Boston lab, Bell made history. He picked up his crude device and said the now famous words, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." His assistant, Thomas Watson, heard the words clearly through a wire. It was the first telephone call in history. Number four, how it worked. So how did Bell's telephone actually work? The original design was simple but brilliant. A diaphragm vibrated when someone spoke. These vibrations moved a magnet and coil, creating electric current that matched the sound. The signal traveled through a wire to a receiver, where another diaphragm recreated the sound. In short, it was turning sound into electricity, sending it across a wire, and turning it back into sound. Early models were crude, but the idea worked and it was revolutionary. Number five, spreading the telephone. After the invention, things moved fast. In 1877, Bell and his investors founded the Bell Telephone Company. But at first, using a phone wasn't like it is today. There were no phone numbers, just operators connecting you manually through a switchboard. Calls could only be made if you were connected to the same network of wires, so early telephones were mostly used by businesses and the wealthy. Over time, the technology spread. Wires crisscrossed cities, towns, and eventually the globe. Number six, innovations and impact. Other inventors, like Thomas Edison, made improvements, especially to the microphone, making speech clearer and louder. The telephone evolved. Rotary dials were introduced, then push-button phones. Later, digital systems, fiber optics, and eventually wireless mobile phones. But it all started with Bell's device and that first sentence spoken in 1876. The telephone revolutionized business, politics, emergency response, and personal relationships. It shrunk the world, connecting people like never before. In the end, so the next time you make a phone call or ask Siri a question, remember, it all started with an idea to send sound through wires. Thanks to Alexander Graham Bell and the race to invent the telephone, the world learned to talk like never before. And from that single call to Mr. Watson, a world of connection was born.